Okay, well, I was going to schedule it for 9:30, and it looks like it just went live. So here we are. How do you instantly increase your net worth? It's possible. And I think I know how it's done. And I especially, wanted to do this for. There's a couple of people that I had in mind to do this for. There's more pigtails. So I was listening to John Lamb Lash, and he's talking about how some people are decoys. They're just wooden ducks, so to speak. They're just there to make it look like there's a crowd. And then there's some that are dupes that are actually in the employ of, say, outer parties, law enforcement, healthcare, whatever. And they seem to be able to do things that you feel hurt you. And really, all they do is they're destroying the things that give you joy. And he particularly, I was asking the question, do they really take pleasure in that? Or are they just doing it out of a sense of duty? And that's a really good question. My feeling is that there are some, particularly the narcissistic types, that you wouldn't really know unless you knew them personally, that you sense they are getting pleasure from destroying others' joy. And that's a human trait, a really nasty one that I don't like. I don't think anybody likes it. I don't think it's nice. I don't think there's anything good about that. But the title of the video is how to instantly increase your net worth. And this has to do with credit. It has to do with the value of things, not just the monetary value, but the value to people personally. Because some things don't have any monetary value, but they're very valuable to you personally. So I've been, I don't know if you call it accused or applauded as being quite the genius. And the people that call me that, it's very curious, because they're the ones that seem to have absolutely no problem destroying the things that give me joy. It's so weird. But I also notice amongst themselves that they don't give each other credit for the gifts that they have. They probably don't give themselves credit for their gifts. So let's say someone has a very sensitive nature. Well, some people will call that an illness and would try to get that medicated because it's quite the issue, a problematic situation in a family where there's lots of brusque individuals, and being sensitive is a liability. But to others, that sensitivity is absolutely essential for their job, whether they're a wine taster or they're an intuitive employed by a law enforcement trying to find kidnapped victims. I mean, all of these gifts we have for a reason. But in some cultures and in some scenarios, gifts can look like a curse. So if it's a gift, that means it was given. It means it was given. It means you may not have actually paid like fiat dollars for it, because right now all we have is fiat dollars. Our monetary system of exchange is fiat US dollars and has been all my life. So fiat dollars is exactly that. It is not backed by anything. They're not treasury notes. It's not silver, gold. It's a debt instrument. And we believe when we have, say, 100 of these notes and we give them to someone, there's a price tag on it that says $100. We have received value for this worthless piece of paper, but they believe that it's valuable because that's all we have. So this is the only means of exchange we have. Okay, so we have to use these dollars. Some people believe that if there is not dollars in exchange for an item, then it has no value, which is really weird because before the fiat dollar, everything had intrinsic value. And even after the fiat dollar, everything still has that same value. Whether it's valuable to you for what you use it for, or it's valuable to someone else for what they are willing to exchange to have it. So to increase your net worth, begin to assess your value, your gifts. Now, they were given. They were not paid for by fiat dollars and then you get this thing. No, you might have sharp intelligence. You might have a gift of drawing or music or whatever. All of these things are gifts. These are gifts. They're not monetary. There's no value monetary. There's no fiat number. It's not quantified. It's got its own quality. And in a world where most of the young people have only had quantification, they only have monetary value and have been taught to place monetary value on everything. These other gifts have no value. Whether they use them or not, they're unconscious of it. And so if you begin to bring consciousness, which is awareness, which is information, which is light, photons. Okay, so if you bring consciousness, awareness to what your gifts are, regardless of their fiat dollar value, or if there is none, or if there was no fiat exchange in order to have that thing, begin to put a value. And the problem we have is that people don't know how to place value without that fiat dollar symbol next to it. To them, that's the only way they can measure value. And this is a huge cavern, a huge black hole, a huge, not black hole, a huge vacant space of knowledge that they have no way to access because they don't know how. Okay, so how do you do it? For me, my sensitivity is very important to me, and it's valuable. Its value is in that I can determine and make distinctions between things in a very nano sense that other people cannot. And that's, sucks for you, but this is something that you can develop if you want it. So it's not something that you can't have because I have it, but I have it. Okay. I also have the gift of writing. Like I said, some people said I'm a genius. Okay. What do they mean? They have not qualified it and they have no way to quantify it. Because you can't place a money value on it unless it nets them some fiat dollars. But it's just a general term. So if you begin to give it distinction and give it a proportion or a place, a value, distinguish between things and articulate what that thing is good for. Well, for me, it's good for me that I can create, because it allows me to get that energy out, because it's inside of me. It's being generated. And, there's really no way I can stop it, nor would I want to. I don't. I would be dead. I would be dead inside, a walking zombie. So increasing your net worth, begin to give inventory of your gifts of awareness of what you're good at. You can even go as far back as topics you were presented in school, and there might have been classes that you particularly enjoyed, but it was only like 1 year or 1 semester or 1 block, but you loved that and you thrived at it. Well, go to that. Okay. So that's how you find it. If you've not experimented with your own intrinsic gifts and you don't really know how to articulate it, go where you can articulate something. Go where you can find where that value was. Because in the passion of excitement, in the passion of enjoyment, in the passion of a very flexible and fluid gift, that's value to you, because it brings you fire. If you get your passion excited inside of you, that can jumpstart a lot of different things in your life. So that's why I'm saying how to distinguish, how to discriminate between these different things that I can do, and what are the things that bring me the most joy, and what measure volume of joy does this particular thing that I do a lot, and this particular thing that I have access to but I don't do as much, give articulation to and an examination of what is the value of that for you. If it brings you joy, and if it actually fires you up and enables you to do things on a daily basis, that has a lot of value, because that can lead to a lifetime of achievement. And achievement and doing what makes you happy and possessing of your own energy, that will reap rewards. And that may be monetary, that might be abundance and all. You may be given an estate and it doesn't need money. Okay, so money isn't the only abundance we have, but the basic subsistence here in this fiat world, that has to happen. So when you give value to your gifts and you begin to determine what are the things that will net you the most benefit, then you can find out what your net worth is. And you may discover, and most likely you will discover, many things that you didn't realize were valuable to you, that have value in the world. Now, there are some people that were, very sensitive or had a particular skill years ago, and those industries went out of business or became corrupted and collapsed. But we're heading into a kind of a reset era where things are going to be either brought back from the past that were discarded that now have value, or new technologies that will use those very same skills that you have in order to apply the elements that new technology needs to succeed, to function. So there's all kinds of things you can do to determine your what you have. And if you begin to take inventory of your things, what things do you have that have value to you that may not translate to fiat dollars? It's such a disease, this fiat dollars. It's empty. It means nothing. And yet people use that for the measure. That's the intrinsic problem. Okay. So if you take that out of the picture and just go with what functions and what you use and what you enjoy, and employ those and examine those, and what are the things that you have that have value to you. Once you've done that, now go to the family or your family unit or whatever that happens to be. Most people, it's brothers, sisters, mother, father, children, grandchildren, cousins, nieces, nephews, whatever. It's the family. And then, their neighborhood, their town, whatever the thing, their job, the things that they connect to daily in their community of interest. So look at your family. Let's say your brother, some particular annoying habit he has. Well, examine that. Is it really an annoying habit? Or is it a gift that he has that either he's not using correctly, or you don't see its intrinsic value because you're not him? You don't realize that brings him joy. Let's say he has a particular animal, and that animal is a really annoying animal to you, but it brings him joy. Okay, so look at what brings people joy and what people use as a means to have a holistic life, to fill their life on a daily basis with the things that make them feel normal, the things that make them feel human and, happy. So what about your parents? Your parents may have particularly annoying habits or annoying projects or things that you may not see value in, but it has value to them, and that's why they have them. So if you immediately begin to realize that everything in your life and everything in the life of those you say you care about, that has value to them, and it has value to you, whether you have even acknowledged that or not. So if you will take inventory and begin to see what it is you are surrounded by that is valuable in some way. Some of these things you can't put a price tag on, so that means it's priceless, which means you don't touch that thing. I mean, that thing is not, you're not able to replace it, and yet it brings someone joy. So that's really it. That's how you do it. You begin to take inventory of what you have and put the value on it that it is relevant to how you use it or how you would like to use it. And stay away from making the judgment about others' value or others' things. What if they have a thing and there was no money exchanged for them to have that thing? Does that mean it has no value and you have a right to destroy it because, it had no value? No, it does not. And that's not your place, really, to determine what's valuable to others. Now, you do this for yourself. And if you do it thoroughly and sincerely, you'll realize how abundant, how incredibly overflowing with gifts and monetary possessions and spiritual gifts and gifts that can be employed to bring you the things that you want and need in your life. If you do that for every family member, you will see how incredibly valuable everything is. And that little exercise, if you take that seriously and you do it, it probably won't take you very long, maybe a half an hour or an hour, to increase your net worth. How's that? It works. So give it a try. And I'm going to try to come out here and do this more. I really have such a conviction to do this and have been so held back by every type of interference. You have no idea, but I'm determined, and I've got a new year working. I'm working with a new year. This is the year of the Metal Ox, which is my anniversary, my 60-year anniversary in the Chinese calendar. So I consider this, the first epoch has completed. And, I can look back on that first epoch, that first 60 years, and, there's some things I would have done differently. There's some things that I wished I'd had done more. And through that examination, I gained even more tools to begin this new second epoch in a better way, and see what else we can come up with. So happy Sunday to everybody. And the 28th of February last year at this time, I was on stage, and I'll try to put up a picture of it was Mardi Gras week, and I was performing at a place called the Double E Showcase for a Mardi Garcia show, and Richard Lyons was my producer, and we set up a Mardi Gras stage, and I got some really cool pictures, so I'll try to pop those in somewhere. But that was the leap year. So last year was a leap year, that we had a 29th of February last year. This year we do not. So tomorrow is March 1st, and I'm so excited for spring to come and new things and all that. So blessings, everybody, and thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate you showing up, because that's what it's all about. Okay, bye.